All right. So gratitude and happiness, huh? You know we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
You all wanted a deep dive on this.
Yeah.
And we got the research right here. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
This is way more than just like writing in a thank you card.
Totally. It's really interesting, actually.
Okay.
When you think about gratitude, it's not just this like fleeting thing,
Right.
It's like it actually has an effect on your brain.
Whoa, really? Okay, so we're talking like rewiring your brain, like actual physical
It's
changes.
using measurable effects.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about brain chemistry and changing your neural pathways.
Yeah.
Like literally.
No way. Okay, hold on. We got to break this down. Brain chemistry, neural pathways. What's going on in there when we're feeling grateful?
So, like, all those feel-good chemicals, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Dopamine, serotonin.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude actually boosts how much of them your brain makes.
Seriously.
Yeah. It's like a workout for your brain. Like it actually changes how your brain works over time.
So it's not just a quick mood boost.
Right.
It's like long-term rewiring. That's kind of wild.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when I was looking through the research I sent, I
Yeah.
saw a lot about gratitude journals, which I've heard of,
Yeah, yeah.
but it sounds like there's a whole bunch of other ways to practice gratitude.
Oh, yeah. There are so many different ways. And some of them are really creative,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like your research mentioned something called a gratitude amble. Have you ever heard of that?
A gratitude amble?
Yeah.
I like the sound of that, but I gotta be honest, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So it's exactly what it sounds like. You go on a walk,
Right.
but you're like intentionally paying attention to the stuff you appreciate as you walk,
Mm-hmm.
like the weather or how the sun feels, or even just that, like you can move your body,
Yeah, yeah.
finding those simple joys.
I love that. It's like mindfulness, but you're outside too. So
Yeah.
you get double the benefit.
Exactly.
2 for 1.
I love that.
Now, speaking of combining things, I saw in the research this thing called virtual gratitude circles.
Yes.
And this is another one where I'm like, what is that?
And so this became like a thing during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, okay.
With all the lockdowns and everything.
Yeah.
It's basically a bunch of people get together online
Mm-hmm.
and they just share what they're grateful for.
Oh, wow.
It's all about, staying connected
Yeah.
when you feel isolated. And it's nice to like remind each other of the good things, especially when things are tough.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I feel like, especially these days,
Yeah.
it's easy to get caught up in everything that's wrong.
It is.
So to have that space to
Yeah,
be around other people and be like, hey, but this is good, even if it's just online.
totally.
I feel like that's got to be so powerful.
It is. It's super powerful.
One of the things that struck me when I was looking through everything you sent over was that it's not just about like our own personal gratitude, right? Like how we feel as individuals.
Right.
There was a lot about gratitude in the workplace, like how companies are starting to use it too.
It's really interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like companies are realizing that showing gratitude, it's not just some cheesy thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It can actually like help their business.
Okay, so how does that actually work? Give me an example.
So a lot of companies now have these programs for recognizing their employees.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do you remember from the research, there were those platforms, Bonusly and what was the other one? Perryberry.
Yes. Yes, those rang a bell.
So they let coworkers give each other little shout outs online
Oh, that's cool.
when someone does a good job.
Oh, I like that.
It's really smart because, we all want to feel appreciated, right?
Totally.
It's just like makes you feel good.
Yeah, it's like a level up in a video game, but it's your real life.
I love that analogy.
And speaking of leveling up, you sent over some stuff about using gratitude to achieve your goals.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, that one really, I was curious about that. Like, how does that work? How does being grateful actually help you achieve something?
Yeah. So it's about like changing how you see things.
Okay.
Like a lot of times when we're trying to reach a goal, we're so focused on like what we haven't done yet, right?
Yeah, yeah, all the time.
And we forget to like look back and be grateful for how far we've already come.
Oh, yeah. Guilty as charged. I do that all the time.
Yeah. And gratitude helps us to like pause
Okay.
and really appreciate the progress we've made, even the small stuff.
Right.
And when you do that, it gives you this boost.
Yeah.
To keep going.
Yeah. So it's like celebrating the milestones along the way,
Exactly.
not just like waiting to the very end to be like, oh, I did it.
Yeah. Celebrate the journey, right?
Yeah, totally. And, it's easy to be grateful when things are, going your way. But what about when, like, life throws you a curveball?
Right.
Can gratitude really help then?
That's when it actually becomes like the most important.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a muscle,
And now,
the more you use it, the stronger it gets. And it's not about like pretending everything's perfect.
right.
It's about finding those like bright spots,
Yeah.
even when things are tough.
Yeah.
Because even then, you can always find something to be grateful for.
Right. But I gotta imagine, like, when you're in that moment and it feels like everything's going wrong,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's gotta be hard to, like, even know where to start, you know? Like, how do you even find something to be grateful for when everything feels so overwhelming?
You're right. It can be really hard. That's when, those gratitude practices we were talking about earlier,
Mhm.
they can really come in handy.
So you're saying, like, even if you don't feel it, even if you don't feel grateful in that moment, the
Exactly.
going through the motions
Yeah. Yeah.
can actually, like, help shift your mindset.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like think of it like a muscle,
Okay.
right? You got to work out even when you don't feel like it.
Right, right.
But the more you do it, the stronger you get. And the cool thing is, there's actually research showing this, but gratitude, like it doesn't just help you feel better, mentally and emotionally.
Mhm.
It can actually like be good for your body too.
Oh, wow. Okay, so hold on. Gratitude is good for your physical health? Like, how does that work?
So there are these studies, right? And they found a connection between being grateful and having a stronger immune system.
Oh, wow.
It's wild. It's like your body's defenses get stronger when you're grateful. And
Yeah.
and get this, there's even research suggesting that gratitude can help with pain.
Seriously?
Yeah, people with chronic pain, the ones who practice gratitude, they said they could handle the pain better.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm blown away by this. It's like gratitude is this like superpower for your mind and your body.
I know, right? It's really powerful stuff.
Yeah. You know, something else that really caught my eye in the research
Yeah.
was this idea of gratitude, like being the opposite of consumerism.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. It seemed at first I was like, "What? What does that even mean?" But like the more I thought about it, it made sense. So, what's the connection there?
Well, consumerism, it's all about wanting more,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like you need more stuff to be happy.
Right.
But gratitude helps you appreciate what you already have.
Okay.
And when you do that, you don't feel like you need more so much.
That's so true. It's like, you know that saying, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
And I feel like gratitude is the antidote to that,
It
right?
is, yeah. It
Yeah.
helps you stop comparing yourself to everyone else,
Right.
and you can just appreciate what you have right now.
It's like being present with what is, you know?
Totally, yeah.
Instead of always chasing after like the next shiny object or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I thought this was interesting. Mhm.
There was a bunch of stuff about how gratitude is seen differently in different cultures.
Oh, yeah, it's so fascinating, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
like East versus West. And
Yeah,
there were like some really interesting differences there.
there are. So like in a lot of Eastern traditions, like Buddhism,
Hmm.
gratitude's like a big part of life. It's not just about being thankful for stuff you have. It's more about like this general feeling of gratitude for everything, like for life itself.
So it's less about like, I'm grateful for this specific thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's more about just like approaching life with this sense of appreciation, like no matter what's happening.
Yeah, it's like appreciating the fact that you exist
Wow.
and that we're all connected, And
Yeah.
then in a lot of Western cultures,
Hmm.
gratitude's important too, but it's like more about like specific things.
Yeah, that's
Like, thank you for this gift, or thank you for doing this for
yeah,
me.
like more transactional.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Right. Like, you did something for me. I'm grateful for that. Not, I'm just grateful to, like, exist.
Exactly.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. It's so fascinating to see how something like gratitude can be like a universal thing, but then also show up so differently depending on, like, where you're coming from, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like we all have this capacity for gratitude,
Mm.
as humans,
Mm.
but how we express it
Yeah.
and how we think about it can be really different.
So cool. But I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds like no matter what, no matter how you practice it,
Right.
gratitude can be such a powerful tool for like transforming your life, right? Like from the inside out.
Totally. It can change everything about how you see the world.
It's like shifting from like focusing on what's wrong to what's right.
Hmm.
Like instead of seeing what you don't have, you see what you do have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's that shift from like a scarcity mindset to one of abundance. It's huge. And speaking of like positive change, one of the things that really struck me in the research was how gratitude can actually help you grow as a person.
Oh, totally.
It's like gratitude is this like secret ingredient for personal growth and development.
It is.
So like how does that work? How does being grateful actually help you become a better version of yourself?
Well, okay, so when you approach things with gratitude,
Right.
you're more likely to see challenges as like opportunities.
Okay, that makes sense.
Instead of like freaking out when something goes wrong,
Right.
you can be like, okay, what can I learn from this?
Yeah.
Like, how can I use this to grow? And it's like you end up stronger and more resilient because of it.
So it's all about like how you frame things, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can look at a difficult situation and find something to be grateful for, even if it's just the fact that you're learning something from it,
Exactly.
it can totally change how you experience that
You
situation.
totally can.
And you know what? I can vouch for that personally. Like when I can approach something difficult with a sense of gratitude,
Yeah.
it helps me stay like grounded.
Oh, for sure.
And it helps me stay focused and hopeful even when things are tough. It's
Yeah.
it's really powerful.
It's so true. Gratitude just helps you tap into like this inner strength that you have.
Yeah.
It reminds you that you can get through anything
Yeah.
and you can come out stronger on the other side.
It really is like, people say the obstacle is the path. And
Mhm.
it's like gratitude helps you see that. Like it's not a roadblock.
Right.
It's like a stepping stone,
Exactly.
It's all
Exactly.
about like how you look at it.
Yeah.
And something else that I thought was really interesting in the research
Yeah.
was this idea that being grateful can actually help you achieve your goals.
Oh, yeah.
And at first I was kind of like, wait, what? How does that work?
Right.
But then like the more I thought about it, it started to make sense.
Yeah.
So explain that one to me. How does gratitude work with goals?
Well, I think, sometimes when we're like really focused on the end goal,
Mm-hmm.
we forget to like appreciate the journey,
Right. Totally.
Like we're so busy thinking about what's next,
Yeah.
that we don't even realize how far we've come.
Yes. It's like we're so busy looking at the finish line that we don't even like enjoy the race.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's where gratitude comes in, right? It helps us to like shift our focus
Okay.
from what we don't have to what we do have.
Okay, so it's not about like being grateful for the result. It's about being grateful for the progress
Yeah.
along the way.
Exactly. Like celebrating the small wins,
Yeah. Right.
And when you do that, it gives you this like boost of motivation
Mm.
to keep going.
So it's like it reminds you why you're doing it in the first place.
Exactly. Because when you approach it with gratitude, you're more likely to like stick with it.
That makes sense. It's like it takes something that could be like kind of a drag, like goal setting, and it's like
Yeah.
it makes it more fun. It makes it more enjoyable.
Totally. Totally. It's about finding the joy in the journey.
I love that.
And that's what gratitude does.
Wow. This has been like seriously eye-opening.
It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Like we've talked about the science behind gratitude, all the different ways to like bring more of it into your life.
Mhm.
The benefits, I mean, for your mind, your body, your relationships, like even your goals.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy how one thing can have so much impact.
I know. It really goes to show you how powerful it is. And the best part is,
Yeah.
it's for everyone.
Sure.
It doesn't matter how old you are or where you're from.
Yeah.
Like anybody can do this. It's just about like making that choice to see things differently.
I love that. So, as we're like wrapping up this deep dive, I want to leave everyone with this.
Yeah.
What would it look like if you woke up every day and you approached your day with a grateful heart?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would that change your relationships?
Yeah.
How would it change how you deal with challenges?
Yeah.
How would it change, like, just your whole experience of being alive?
No.
It's something to, like, really sit with.
It is. It's huge.
Yeah. Because I really think, like, when you choose gratitude, it opens up all these possibilities.
It does. It's like you start to see the world in a whole new light.
Yeah, totally. It's like that saying, what you focus on expands.
Yes.
And I feel like with gratitude, it's like the more you focus on it, the more you find to be grateful for.
It's so true.
And that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been awesome.
It has been fun talking about this.
Thank you so much for diving into this research with me. This has been amazing.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into gratitude. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you.
And remember, it's a practice. So start small, be consistent,
Yes.
and you'll be amazed at what
And you
happens.
never know, you might even inspire somebody else to start their own gratitude journey.
That's a great point. All right, until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep cultivating those grateful hearts.